Oof. You say as I get back to my computer. Actually, I'm not back, am I? I need to grab water. Hold on. Try that again. Whew. Hello, camera. Camera. There you go. Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and we are on a train, or car, or truck. It's giving me motion sickness, so we're going to go ahead and just jump on over to this screen. I'm still getting a few things set up, but today is Friday. Turn it. Oh, okay. No, we can still do it. We can still do it. I'm running backwards. I am that fast. Okay, better. When are we going to stop? Oh. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. That actually kind of hurt. Okay, anyway. We're in the office now. Ooh, need my water after that. So we aren't doing this, but this would be fun to do. Today is Friday, which is Community Day on our channel. And if you aren't awares of what Community Day is, I need to log into my bot. Community Day. Community Day is a day on our channel where we spend some time talking with each other about whatever topics come up in chat, or if you are so inclined, in Discord, where I will be in a voice channel. Blah. No, I'm not out of breath. Why do you ask? Where I will be in a voice channel, and you are welcome to join me using your lovely voice. Just hop into Discord and join any of the voice channels. Let me know that you are in one of them, and I'll pull you into the stream room. Yes, and we got a clip. All right, let me get the clip in the right browser so we can hear this madness. Man, Firefox. Basta. When are we going to stop? You can't even hear the music. Whoa, I turned into mush. Hey, you could see my blanket skirt. Did you see that? My blanket skirt. It's such a comfortable little blanket. If I ran that fast, I would turn into mush too. Anyway, awesome. Looking forward to that clip showing up in random places. Ooh. Okay, so the other thing that we do on Community Day, other than talk about technology and software and all of that stuff, and just have conversations in general, that's what I try to focus on doing at least. I also try to work on our bot. So we already have a bot in stream. You could see it there. It responds to us if we ask it questions. Hi, how are you? Hello, I'm Bot Dacky. Hello, Bot Dacky. And then the bot will respond with, after it does the initial warm-up. Hello. Okay, we have a couple shout outs to do right off the bat. First one in, just to do it in order, Big Gamey. He is a game developer. I had the idea, but I'm going to say that I was inspired to actually go through with it. The idea to do Distracted Fridays, essentially. So on his stream, Fridays, he usually does I don't know, do you want to call it side project? Side project Fridays, where he works on a zombie game. His normal stream time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 2 hours from now, is a game called Homeward Hound, where you play as a dog who gets separated from his people and needs to make his way back. Oh, sorry, I'm a little distracted because we have an emergency release that we need to have done by the end of today. But I didn't want to cancel the stream again because I already canceled it on Wednesday. And right now the ball is in another developer's court. So they need to take action. I did my part. Hello, a little too distracted. I'm Bardaki. But Big Gamey won't be streaming today because reasons, but that's fine. Just join him on Monday, Wednesdays, and whatever Friday, whenever he streams. Follow him so you know when he does, and you'll be able to see some amazing stuff. Here's some content that you can. Hey, we finally got a response. Here's a clip of what you might expect on his stream. Chances are you're gonna see a big old baby. Why? This one always plays. You gotta be like that, Papa. Right. I guess I should do the announcement in Discord real quick. And by the time I finish doing the announcement in Discord, we should be able to be good follow along shout out for Botdaki, aka Bardaki, whose bot's name is Botdaki. Also another fantastic game developer making a game called the You Wanted War, renamed to Unwanted War, so I've heard. And anyway, you can check it out on Steam. Do you have the Steam link so that we can send that out? I don't have everything set up for your stuff. I'm sorry. I should. While we're waiting for the... Oh, there it is. Give it a look over on Steam. It is a real-time strategy game where you play as armies from different eras and battle each other. It's amazingness. It is amazingness. And of course, Big Amy, if you do have any videos that you want us to play for Homeward Hound, do let me know. Or your zombie game, or anything else. Anything else. It is Community Day, and we will spend as much time as you want celebrating you guys, because this work is not easy. This is a lot of stuff for one developer to do. It's even getting unit and integration testing at the moment, right? Where Irish John was like, aren't you a game dev? What are you doing unit tests for? You're not a app or web dev. Yeah, absolutely. Please do. Please do. Ask away. But if it's on unit testing, I may not be able to answer. But yeah, check it out on Steam. Our friend Irish John's favorite thing to say to you is there's a button on here. When you go to the URL, it'll open in your browser. You're most likely not logged in. So click open in Steam and it'll open in your game client. Excuse me, my day is pretty much exclusively desktop world. Even there we unit test. You know, I'm not ashamed of this. It's kind of typical across large organizations, but we have 0 unit. Well, no, I can't say 0. Yes, I can. We have 0 unit tests. We have a handful of functional tests, but they're not nearly enough code coverage. In fact, we have an issue right now in our app, which may give away my client if any of you happen to be using this app and updated to the latest. But we have an issue where there are automated scans run on your system on a scheduled basis using Task Scheduler. And when they run, the splash screen shows up for the app until the scheduled scan is done. That never happened before. That should not be happening. So we got enough tickets on it. And so we're doing an emergency release to fix that. We already have the fix because that was part of our next planned release. We were made aware of it really early on, but that could have been caught from automated UI testing, where if we got a splash screen when it's supposed to be running from command line, it would have failed. Our tester didn't catch it. None of the devs caught it. It's annoying. And so I'm pretty sure people are going to uninstall the app because they're like, if this is going to pop up on my screen every Tuesday and Sunday, I don't want this running. Hopefully we get that resolved very, very quickly. It's a funny bug. It's not that funny to me. I'm not exactly sure when it was introduced. I know that it was our last release, obviously, but we had an extended release cycle. We're usually on a 3-month cycle for releases. It's a desktop app. And a desktop app that is available through the Windows Store. And what was I going to say? Oh, there was a bug where the splash screen was starting on a different... I don't remember what the issue was with the splash screen to begin with. But I remember needing to do something with the splash screen, and I think one other dev had to do something with the splash screen, but I'm going to blame myself for it and didn't catch it. And I do remember distinctly asking, though, do we have a way of telling whether the app is running in silent mode by this point? And the subject matter expert that I asked said, no, there is no way. And I'm like, are you sure? But anyway, I'm sure we could dig through Git history and find out who the actual blame is, but let's just fix it. Let's get it fixed. Push out an emergency release. And thankfully we have version tags in our main branch, so we can create a branch off of what's currently in production, cherry pick the changes that we want to include in the emergency release. Create a new release. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyway. So moving on. Let me read this. The question is if you know or use any architecture documentation extension in Visual Studio. Yes-ish. The stuff I work on has 25,000 unit tests or around and several hundred full UI tests. Nice. That is awesome. I would love to work on a team that has that put together and is just in maintenance mode where we need to update the unit tests as we add features. That would be nice. But we have so little that it would probably be an entire release cycle to get automated testing in the app. Maybe even longer. So once again, our release cycles are around 6 iteration cycles. Sprints, for those of you that are still using the company name as the term for an iteration. Okay, anyway, I was wanting to do a video shout out of Bardaki so you can witness the amazingness that is the Bard game developer, Bardaki. Bam.
Yeah. Clay, how was your stream?
It was good. That was awesome. How was your stream? Amazing. Yes. Oh, anyway, so yeah. As far as things that you can use for, like, are you talking about auto documentation to get like an API, kind of like how Windows has their API? Whoops. What am I doing? Learn.microsoft.com. And you go into, I don't know. Yeah, are you looking for something that actually creates images, diagrams, notes, whatever, without having to leave the editor? Okay, all right. TVD Gamer, thank you so much for the sub. You definitely don't have to, but I really appreciate it. Great stream this morning. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. Another fantastic developer. He's a .NET developer working on 2 projects every week. Kind of like, yeah, I think that's just our thing. So Bit Gamey, me, TBD Gamer, are working on 2 projects. On Mondays and Tuesdays, he does this thing called Water Drink Water. And then on Wednesday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends, he does another app. I don't even know what your other app's name is. Here is a shout out if you aren't already following TBD Gamer, whose name just rolls right off the tongue. Have my Bezos bucks. Yeah, definitely Bardaki. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so something that will create notes, diagrams, and anything else to do with the architecture documentation. So no, I can't say that I have used tools that do that in .NET as an extension. Do I know what megalomania is? Yeah, kinda, maybe. So it's a real-time strategy game where you play as it's more like Civilization, I would say, where you play as an army from, or a military force from a certain time period, and it pits different military. Am I even saying this correctly? Is that what your game is about, Barteki? I'm only ever lurking on your stream. Yes. Fight battles through human history to defeat your enemies and save humanity's future. The Unwanted War, I can say it correctly, lets you follow history itself and take influence on humanity's ultimate fate. Are you going to use your knowledge and power for good, or will you bring doom over the human race? I love that. I love that. It's so good. Total war. Did you see that somewhere? Okay, no. Okay, so it's still within the same era. So you're traveling through time, taking part in these battles with the army of that time. But it does sound like, and there are several factions per era that you can fight as, but it does sound like you're considering a streamer who Googles Google. Scott. It does look like you're considering being able to have different eras play against each other, which would be interesting. Okay, we were looking for Visual Studio. We were searching for Google Visual Studio extension architecture diagram. It's actually searched for quite a bit. That says VS Code. That's a code diagram. So I have used code diagrams, definitely, but not architectural diagrams. Man. And I take it it'd be difficult to open your project in VS Code, being a desktop app. So I guess in short, no. I have not used any extensions for Visual Studio. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, it's the same with our code. It's really hard to do any kind of code work in Visual Studio Code for our project. Did I finish my thought? I have never used architecture documentation in Visual Studio. Around 16,000 files in the entirety. Yeah. We're only in the single digit thousand. How many per wrapper? So each wrapper is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oof. We're just going to call that 40. 40 files, which are like models and the actual functionality and localization for each wrapper, and about I don't know. I can't guesstimate. I have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We'll say 40. 40 wrappers, because that looked like about the halfway point. 40 to 50 wrappers times that many files per wrapper, plus satellite wrappers. Not wrappers, satellite libraries, plus 3 API clients that I just finished with their models, plus the UI, which are Razor class libraries, Blazor for the win, plus the WPF main application, plus the director application for loading all of the dependencies and stuff for that current run, plus an external launcher so that we can launch our test individually, plus a few more satellite projects. So yeah, in all, like only 89 projects, but yeah, probably only a maximum of around 1,500 files. So anyway, that's a lot for me to handle. I'm imagining 16,000 is a lot more to handle. Yeah. Was it you that said it? It's a modular monolith for the most part. So we could take our wrappers and open each of those projects individually, and they would be fine, and modify them and edit them. We have one big solution that has all of our, and a wrapper for us is just a way of running a test on your computer, a hardware diagnostics test, a software test, whatever. So each of these wrappers are modular. So they're kind of like services that if we just exposed a way to launch them from another application, it'd be a microservice for the most part. Hey, Bardaki just started his stream. Yeah, and if it's too much bandwidth, you definitely don't have to lurkage, but I appreciate you, Bardaki. And I lurk on your stream. Yeah, I use that term. I kind of refer to components that could be wrapped up with its own solution. So planning items, yeah. So in this case, that is what these are. Every single one of these wrappers are things that could be in their own solution. They do still use shared library. So a lot of them inherit the same abstraction library, for example. So a tool base. An iTool base, I guess. No, an iTool. Where anything that is going to be a wrapper must be able to have a preload and execute and, certain things and give us back a standardized shape of response for the data, as it were. So I agree with you, TBD Gamer, with your phrase that you taught me. Even if you weren't the original, you still taught me. Taught me a thing. Okay, continuing on though, it is still Community Day. If you are interested, you can join a voice channel in Discord and have a verbal I can't have a verbal conversation. A verbal conversation, talk about your ideas and thoughts or anything that you want to discuss today. Otherwise, feel free to do so in chat. And while we are continuing on with that, I am going to try my best to figure out how to open the bot remake project, and we'll do some work on that. One of the things that I really love to talk about are people's journey to where they currently are as software developers. I heard TBD Gamer's story about 2.5 weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks, and I thought it was a very interesting one. But disfortunately, he's feeling under the weather, and I would not force him to talk. I want you to recover better. Plus, it's the middle of your workday, and you probably are going to have your stand-up soon, and yeah. But it's still a story worth hearing. So if you don't hear it here ever, check him out on his stream, ask him about it. Yeah. Yes, Tyron. These are the types of stories that I want people to hear. So Tyron summarized his and said, failed my programming class in college, dropped out, taught myself, became a dev, been at Microsoft for 25 years now. And it's inspirational, it's motivational. It shows that it doesn't really matter whether you take formal education or not. It's just whether you continue with it, in my opinion. Mine is like a mix of TVD gamers and Tyrants, where I went to college, did formal education, which TBD Gamer, I don't think he did. Um, but I went to college, failed my freshman year, the entire year, made a lot of mistakes, started drinking for the first time. It was the first time I had ever had an alcoholic beverage. Um, didn't understand C, C++, and Java. Those were the first classes that I was taking. And it was my first experience with that kind of programming. I had done Visual Basic 6, and before that, regular Basic or QBasic, and not even officially. It was just for fun. So I had no programming experience when I started college, but I knew that I wanted to do software development. So anyway, failed my freshman year. Second year was really rough because of the increased freedom and choices that I was making. But I did a little bit better. I passed most of my UGE courses, still struggled with my computer science courses. Then needed to pull back because I didn't have money, ran out of a lot of money. I just ran out of money and started spending money I didn't have and making, again, stupid choices. and but I was working anyway, so I was working a full-time job, was doing very part-time classes, and I was passing like 1 to 2 classes a semester. So it took me 9 years to complete college. By my 6th year, I got into a rhythm. I had enough money. I was taking loans, and I was just doing better. I was still doing poorly in my UGE classes. For those of you that don't know, UGE undergrad, the basic classes that pretty much everyone has to take, regardless of what your major is, because I didn't care for them. And I was like, I don't want to do these. But I got a pretty high GPA in my core classes, the ones that were related to computer science, and then a low GPA in my UGE classes, but I graduated. And that's all that really mattered. So that's my education experience. And the only thing that college really taught me was how to persevere, how to keep going against even the odds of myself. So, yeah. I don't think that I really learned programming in college, but definitely got some life skills. Okay, so Tyrant said, I'll take a self-taught dev any day over a college grad. I find self-taught want to be there. College grads aren't excited. I'm kind of both though. So college grads, like I said, the thing that I get from them is they spent the time to get whatever degree they were pursuing. Either they knew how to game the system, they knew how to take tests and pass them, or they actually worked hard enough to do it. So I do factor that in, but self-taught, like you said, it definitely shows someone that wanted to learn this thing. There are drawbacks on both sides. In my opinion, the self-taught drawback is there are people that just learn things for the sake of saying that they know how to do a thing, but don't really care about it. But it's not often that you would see that, I don't think. Not in software. Did this actually open in regular Visual Studio? I hope so. TBD Gamer said that, what Tyrant said. So that's a good last lesson regardless. I want someone that cares about what they do. If they have a degree or not, does not really matter. But a passion normally means more drive for growth and a lot of learning. What we do is growth and learning. Verb dogs. Don't call me a dog, I'm a cat. Verb dogs. I'm kidding, I know what you meant. But yeah, Tyron, you do have a really good point though, where just because someone graduated college doesn't mean they know stuff. but I also wouldn't blanket trust anyone that is self-taught, because it doesn't necessarily show me that they are truly determined or care, I guess, about software dev. But that could take us to the conversation that I do want to have someday, but in a productive way that's not just me griping about the existing interview system. This came up on, again, like so many people streamers, but recently on TBD Gamer Streamer, where we were talking about interviews. And well, I was listening to people talk about interviews, and I did comment once or twice, but I'm really busy in the mornings, man. But anyway, the interview process just being pretty broken in typical software development jobs. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. I'm going to drop that because that was my topic. I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So once again, it is Community Day. Feel free to join Discord if you want to do it by voice, or just type into chat any conversation pieces that you are interested in having. There was a great conversation topic that came up in Discord by Duso. I thought would be really cool to hear what other people have to say about it. I have thoughts on it. I just wasn't able to type in my thoughts because I'm usually away from my computer and Discord and everything in the evenings, and then in the mornings I am busy doing my day job. But if you feel like typing it out in chat now, if you have a response, do so. Was asking about how did you decide when you're ready for the next level in your career? I'm about 2.5 years in, and it seems like the old norm was stay a year and move to progress. But nowadays, the industry is all sorts of strange. I feel like I've learned, and this is my first time reading the whole question because I kind of stopped at the beginning and then just assumed the rest of it. So this is my first time actually reading it, or having a chance to actually read it. I feel like I've learned a lot. And of course, there is still so much to learn, but I feel like I don't know where that line is for moving up. So let me know if you have any thoughts on how do you decide when you're ready to try to find either another step that'll take you to the next level of your career, pursue your managers, whatever it is, whatever your process is for deciding, or maybe having it decided for you, how to move up, how to progress in your career, as Duso put it. Call in now. Okay, while we're waiting for anyone that might want to respond to that, to type in chat or hop in Discord, I will go ahead and click on this. Start doing a little bit of work on the bot remake. So as I mentioned, we have a bot that is sitting here named Automated Realms. Hello again. Do you have thoughts on when to decide on moving to the next level in my software development career? We'll see what Automated Realms wants to say about it. It is an LLM that is running on a machine that's over there, and I have no idea why it's going so slow. It's usually really, really responsive. Did I load the wrong model? I bet you I loaded the wrong model. Yep, I loaded the wrong model. I loaded a GGUF model instead of the AutoGPT. I'll wait for it to respond and then I'll change the model. Not AutoGPT, GPTQ. Quantized. All right, there we go. Thank you for your response, Automated ROMs. Reload, new model. Okay, so you can kind of trust AI to give you an answer on this one. Because it's a very opinionated thing. And so even if it makes up an answer, I mean, it's not going to be any more made up than the answer I give. So the LLM responded with, I'm glad you asked. The decision to move to the next level in your software. Oh, wait. First, we have an actual chat. I'm gonna ignore you, bot. So Raj asks, any suggestions for contributing in .NET open source projects? Are you asking for suggestions to which projects to contribute to or how to? Because one thing that I've heard, and I think I heard this from Layla or C# Fritz, one of them, one of the really one of the more popular streamers. Which project for beginners? Okay. Was doing documentation. So reading through repos and seeing their documentation, making sure that it's actually describing the build process, the use process, or how to use. Because if you can update the docs, then you're kind of getting more familiar with how other people structure their GitHub repos, especially .NET. Like if you go into .NET and see all of their stuff, even things like typos. But you're kind of reading through the docs, making sure that it matches the actual project itself, fixing anything that seems wrong. A lot of times it is following through with the getting started section and seeing if it works for you. So you're getting experience with that. As you're doing that, you may run into errors where on your machine, you followed the getting started, but something crashed. You found an error that wasn't happening, that shouldn't be happening. And so you fix that error and then you do a PR for that. Ooh, there's a good comment though. So right now we can do that, but Marcus is stating that he thinks in the future AI will be writing most of the documentation. Right now it's writing pretty much all of mine. Well, let me show you this. I think I can show you this. But as far as actual projects to contribute to, I don't know any off the top of my head, but if anyone else can think of any .NET projects, well, I guess my Blazor component library could always use help. So if you are familiar with Blazor, like I haven't had a chance to go back and make this better since I've learned more about Blazor. But this one has a bunch of standard components. It's a component library intended to be highly modular, highly configurable. Yeah, and easy to style. That was the biggest thing. So the component libraries that I had tried before were just difficult to style and even use the way that I thought they should be using. So that's what all of this is. 1 year of experience with .NET. Gosh, I don't know how many times I've interrupted myself. I apologize. I have not been very aware of it because I'm thinking about this release. That we need to do to fix this error. I haven't gotten any messages back from the person that I pinged for their step. So I'm a little distracted. Apologize. Marcus said, I think in the future, AI will be writing most of the documentation. So right now we can go through GitHub and do, documentation PRs as our contributions to a project. Like I said, it gives you the experience that I mentioned before. If you are actually following along with the documentation, do so is here. Yes. So do so. Automated Realms has a response for you. I haven't read it yet because we're talking with a real life person as opposed to trying to read what a bot says. Blech. Oh yeah. Quick thing real quick. Shout out Marcus Voice Coder. So Marcus has been streaming. Marcus Voice Coder has been streaming a little more frequently. And it's been really cool to watch the way that he works. He uses, of course, his voice to code. And I don't know, there's something really, really calming about it. Like hearing him do the voice commands and do the work that he's doing, just it puts me in the zone and I'm able to like super focus on the work that I'm doing. So it's a great co-working stream if you can catch it. He's a really cool person in general. Yeah. Okay. So that's Marcus. Blazor, I'm going to wrap up all of my loose end thoughts, I hope. Blazor component library is my Blazor component library that I created when I was first learning to do Blazor for my work product. I was allowed to do this, of course. I made sure that the company that I was working for was okay with me creating an open source project that had all of the components that I was using. Yeah, so it's out there on GitHub, it's public, and I haven't touched it in a long time. And there are, I know that I would be doing things very differently than what is out there. So there are some things to go through in this and find out what's broken. And just even identifying them and creating issues would be extremely helpful. That's one of the things that you could do on GitHub repos. And then the next one is to try to fix some of the issues that you find. Of course, if it already has a million issues, then definitely try to find the ones that are tagged with good first issue or whatever. Okay, so that's that loose end. That's the Blazor component library. Back to Raj's question. I am a 1-year-old developer. I have 1 year of .NET experience. And what kind of .NET stuff have you done in that 1 year? Have you done ASP.NET? And if so, MVC, Blazor, ASP Razor Pages, APIs, whatever else. Desktop, WPF, UWP, WinForms, Xamarin. Have you done Angular with a .NET backend? What kinds of stuff? Yeah, there's another one that is, and you are absolutely allowed to do self-promotion. Water, drink water. If you want, post the GitHub page for it, TBD Gamer. But if you don't know TBD Gamer Raj, he is a .NET developer as well. He streams from about 6 hours ago for around 2 hours. Hey, the bot is working, thank goodness. Thank you for testing that, Big Amy. So he has a project that he works on with his community in the mornings. Sorry, he has a project that he works on with his community on Mondays and Tuesdays is what I meant to say, called Water Drink Water. So definitely check out this repo. Oh my goodness, that's so close. That 40-20 is just the perfect one to start with. And oh my gosh, it cheated you. So he has this. Marcus Voice Coder posted you can check out the .NET project on the Microsoft repo, the Microsoft organization, GitHub organization. And it has a list of all of their open source projects, he says. And I'm sure you will be able to find issues that are marked as good first issue. Is that what they're called? Good first issue. They probably don't have any. Awesome.net. Awesome Blazor's another good one.
A few moments later.
Nice. Thank you so much. That was awesome. I don't even know who played that. I can't see that. That's a secret. I don't even see it in my activity feed. It's Big Gamey. How did that happen so far ahead of chat? Am I scrolled down? I'm scrolled down. Yeah, and you are absolutely welcome to ask questions here on this stream. In TBD Gamer stream, he's also quite responsive to people that ask questions. We also have my Discord, which has a lot of really cool people. We're a pretty quiet Discord. You don't have to worry about getting pinged every 2 minutes with @everyone. In fact, I have disabled @everyone because I don't like it myself. But you can ask questions in there. We have a lot of really cool people that are welcoming and will not treat you like I've been treated on Stack Overflow. So ask newbie questions, ask experience questions, it doesn't matter. Offer suggestions and responses and answers. And of course, TBD Gamer, you are also welcome to post your Discord as a resource for .NET questions. I just quit posting to Stack Overflow. I posted there once. Like I had comments and just the overall vibe and feel of people responding to other people's questions and just nitpicking, and it's like, just answer the damn question. They're asking something legitimate that they're having troubles with. Maybe they haven't done enough research yet, and if that bothers you, then just don't answer their question. Move on to another one. No need to just berate people for asking a question. I posted my last question there for sure. I still answer sometimes. I think AI is killing it anyway. Yeah, I haven't really seen it too much. Dukasoft with the resub. 28 months in a row. Thank you so much for your support. Dukasoft, if you don't know, is the best non-bot bot ever. But yeah, so I did post one question that I thought was well formed. I had thought about it. I had done work on it myself to try to come up with the answer. And because it was too wordy or something, I just got very negative responses to it. And I'm like, I don't need this. It's fine. I'll use it to find questions that have already been answered, but that's about it. No more interacting with the people there. But I don't know. I still use Stack Overflow quite a bit. I was going to say I haven't used it for a little bit, but just recently I did. Like I found Swagger's code gen to turn a Swagger doc into a client library, which I really, really wanted. I have a Swagger endpoint that I was needing to build an API client around, for my work product, and I had already been doing most of the work using their GitHub documents. They don't have a .NET library or anything that has, an already established set of models or anything. They just have crappy markdown documents that are not done well, that are missing properties and just a bunch of stuff. So I went to their Swagger API endpoint, which thankfully they had Swagger UI on it. Got their doc, fed it into SwaggerGen, and was able to get a .NET 4.5, .NET Framework 4.5 client that I was able to get a lot of the models from. So that was really helpful. Oh yes! Thank you. Dukasoft is here. He's already taken care of all the things magically. So Irish John Games, another game developer. If you are interested in game development, you definitely don't want to miss Irish John Games. Stream Elements gave us a shout out of Rise of Piracy. You can find it on the Microprose website because his publisher is Microprose. Check this beautimousness out. It is awesome. I'm not going to play the music because I don't know if it's DMCA. But it's really loud in my ears, so I'm starting to talk quieter. Look at this though. A one-man team that has gotten help from others on occasion, but for the most part, one-man team. Insane. So much work. All of you game devs out there, you blow me away with how much work you do as indie game devs, solo devs. It's amazing. Agreed. Head on over to Irish John's stream if you want to hear the music. He plays the trailer on it when he gets rated. And he'll talk more about it. But it's awesome. Fantastic. Cool. And then you can also see it on Steam at the link provided by Stream Elements. Thank you so much. I still want to do the Steam thing anyway because I like typing yar. Yar. President Not Sure said, I think I've just fixed an SD bug that stymied me for months off and on. I figured it out on my own without posting on Stack Overflow and other problems. I just read Stack Overflow posts, but won't bother asking about those either. Yes, true. That's what I do. If I can't find it easily on Stack Overflow, I'll ask Gemini, ChatGPT, and Bing pretty much all simultaneously, see what answers they give me, see if any of it is actually something I could use. And yes, Raj, TBD Gamer was inviting you to contribute to that, to Water Drink Water. Absolutely. Have you seen these? Yes, I just watched the video for it after yesterday's or Wednesday's community stand-up. Blazor community stand-up. I forget which day it was. So for those that don't know smart components, from what I think I understood, it's pretty much a way for you to add AI interaction using Blazor components. Pre-built components. Pick I know him. So TBD Gamer said, I need to buckle down and get my project in a good place so I can give up a couple of days when this releases. Do so. Are you still around? Because your conversation topic in Discord is a fantastic one. Awesome. Okay, so just a reminder, Duso was essentially asking, how do you decide when to move to the next step in your career? So if any of you do have responses to that, please do tell. I would love for you guys to do so first. Ha, 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 ha. Grumbles. Because, I mean, it's easy for me to respond because I'm the one talking. And it's a lot easier for me to respond on voice during the stream because I am here and able to, instead of trying to type on that screen. It's a deep and personal topic that varies by individual, true, but he's still looking for your experience with it. Not a general. Interesting. I resisted promotions at work, put it off as long as I could. I am interested in hearing why, if you have one. Oh, cool. Microsoft does force growth. Yeah, not quite the same in Sagetti. You kind of have to pursue it yourself, which is cool for a lot of people. I'm just, yeah. If you don't grow, they'll manage you out. Ugh. I avoided becoming a team leader. Yes. Yeah. So is there such thing as horizontal growth? Because that's kind of the thing that I would want to pursue. It's like I have gained more skills. I have become a more skilled developer and would like to continue doing software development without adding responsibilities, but at a higher level. And the only way that you can progress, it seems, in companies like Sagetti and other consulting firms, and again, these are my own views and opinions and not the views and opinions of Sagetti, nor the actual truth, the absolute truth, whatever, just my opinions. It seems like the only growth for a software developer is to take in some managerial duties instead of doing software development at a higher level. So Tyron said, at Microsoft, they rank score you against people of the same level. Yep, true. That's what they do for a large consulting firm. So when you get promotion, you are compared to even better people. So you have to be that much more impactful. Ouch. Yeah, man, that one's really tough for me because the appraisal system and incentive system at a lot of companies just don't motivate me. They actually demotivate me a lot. And not because I'm terrible at my job. I am probably one of their hardest working people. Again, not to toot my own horn, just trying to be matter of fact if I can. But I know what I do when I work during the day. I know how much time I spend on doing the actual work and not messing around and doing other things. So I can say that. And do so put the response in Discord because it was a little bit beyond the 500 character limit. So I'll read it out from Discord in a second. Do so. Management sounds like admin to me. Exactly. An admin, well, it's admin plus if you're a project manager that is technical, you're still expected to do your software development job role. But I forget what, the appraisal system to me is just also not motivational. There is a lot of extra things that I have to do to represent the work that I do to prove to the company that I am a valuable employee, as opposed to them just knowing that we still have this contract with the client. The client has raved about me and said good things to my regional manager, to my project manager. So let that speak for itself. I don't want to fill out a form that takes me 3 hours to do and have 6 conversations with my people manager so that they can tell me, you need to take these trainings, you need to upskill, you need to pursue promotion. It's like, I don't want that. I want to do my job and I want to do it well. But they only care about making sure that we can sell something more to the client so that we can charge them more, so that the developers can get paid the same and the company makes more. Microsoft has a number of levels: SDE, SDE2, Senior SDE, Principal SDE. And once you get Senior, the push to grow drops off and you can mostly live out your career there. No push to management. That's nice. That's really cool. I would love that. Marcus said, the last appraisal I had, the manager was holding up a piece of paper with everybody's pay raise on it and the sun was behind him. I could read everybody's rate. Oh my goodness. That is so bad. The admin is such a waste of time, and you have to work extra hours to get your tech work done. Exactly, President. Not sure. Okay, so here's what Duso posted in Discord, which was the response that he got from Slack to his question. And again, how do you know when you've hit the next level of technical knowledge? How do you recognize that a coworker has reached that next level? So here's the response. That is a lot of words. I'll do my best to read this without stuttering. When you realize that failure is just another step towards success. Is that the answer? When you realize that the user is the most important part of your application. When you realize the worst code you've ever written was the code you wrote yesterday. When you realize that the tech changes faster than you can possibly keep up, but you do your best to do so just the same. When you realize that you don't have to know every single detail about the languages you work with. You've mastered all the basics and beyond, but know that you won't remember everything, and that's okay because you know how to find the information when you need it. So I'm agreeing with all of these statements. I don't see how they answer the question yet, but we'll get there. When you realize that every language framework platform is essentially the same at their core and learn how to adjust to fix the need with the tools available to you. Yes, this is something that my team struggles with. It's like, we have certain constraints based on the technologies that we have and the company and cybersecurity and all this stuff. And instead of trying to work with those and make the app work following those constraints, a lot of my team members are like, well, how can we get them to change the constraints? How can we get Windows to change the fact that you can't access the thing, the technology word, directly? So anyway, when you spend nearly as much, oh crap, too far down. This is why I highlighted before, because my eyes are now jumbled. When you spend nearly as much time defining requirements in advance as you do actually writing the code, knowing it will save you from endless refactor. I don't know that this is telling you when you hit the next level, though, but it's a good answer. I mean, I agree with every single one of these statements so far. When you spend almost as much time in automating your work as you do working and start producing twice as much because of it, it means you're an INTJ. When you start filing pull requests on dependencies when you've identified bugs rather than filing issues. Oh yeah. Dika. When you start blogging, tweeting, whatever about the smallest wins to share so someone else doesn't spin their wheels like you did. Yes. So when you tell other people how you solved an issue in writing, or at least have documentation out there, so if someone else encounters it, this is all good. When you start holding lunch and learn lessons within your organization, or giving user group presentations. I mean, yes, these are cool. I just don't want to do that with my time. When you take feedback on your project as a positive challenge rather than a criticism, when you realize that everyone is at a different stage in their journey and that everyone brings something to the table. Okay, I like that response. Of course, Chief Troll just joined in. Well, he came here earlier. He was in here. Oh, man, when did you pop into? I saw your message come across in chat, Deflux, didn't I? Maybe not. Maybe it was just Irish John's name that was the same color as Deflux's name in chat. I'm not identifying as Chief Troll. But I wasn't here earlier. Okay, so it was just Irish John's name, whose color is the same as yours. and about the same length. Okay, anyway, that response was really cool. It's a great set of things to keep in mind, probably philosophies or considerations that you might want to keep in mind as you continue developing. But I don't think it really identifies how you can identify for yourself when you've reached the next level of technical knowledge. The only one in there that really stood out to me as something that you could use as an identifier of you are skilled enough at your current knowledge level to move further than where you are is if you start writing blogs and docs, which I'm not a great whatever the word is, proponent of blogging. Is proponent the word I'm looking for? No, why did you delete it? Oh, you didn't. I just somehow scrolled up. Define proponent. Actually, you know what? Automated ROMs. Define proponent. Are you going to make something up? Yeah, proponent. Of blogging, because I'm not great with words. Vlogging, on the other hand, or putting a YouTube video together that shows me I'm a proponent of Blazor. I'm a component of Blazor. I saw you were doing blazing pizzas on your stream today. That was cool. Excuse me. An opponent. I'm an opposable. Anyway, because you are able to articulate processes and identify those processes as things you've run into a lot and have overcome and realize in other people that they will run into these things and you want to help, that was in there as well. Like when you realize that other people are at whatever level they're at and you could help out with your knowledge. That's one way of identifying maybe that you are at a higher technical skill than you were at before. But I guess, I mean, oh, okay. So yes, delegating. That's a great word. I saw that in your response. I want to catch up in chat. The question posed was a little more vague on that Slack to open up the responses. I didn't want the one you know React better. Yeah. Good. It really leaves the answer up to the individual. You answer with self-reflection. Yeah, definitely. President Not Sure said, there's too much of trying to do weird stuff that goes against the grain of best practices, whether UI design, implementation, or whatever. Can you preach about that, please? Because my team members really need to hear that. I need to hear that on occasion too. But hopefully the first thing that I do is how have other people already solved this issue? I don't need to solve it myself. How have other people solved it? Does it make sense this way? And then I evaluate it and then I adjust it as needed for my needs. But there are times when I'm trying to increase my knowledge that I just try to re-implement a thing from scratch. But with the Blazor component library, for example, the very first thing that I did was found tutorials and stuff for the very first thing I did was what's already out there. Is there something like Bootstrap for Blazor? And there was. There was Radzin, there was DevExpress, there was Syncfusion, Telerix thing. And so they're all over there, everywhere. So that's cool. But when I couldn't use them the way that I was needing to, and I was kind of rushing through the work that I was doing, I had a whole bunch of apps that I needed to convert by a specific day. And I decided to go with Blazor for one of them. And so I was learning it at the same time. What am I trying to say? I couldn't be bothered to try to figure out how to use a library. Instead, I would try to use the basic building blocks and create a library myself for my specific use case. And so then the next thing I did was, all right, how are these guys building their libraries? look up YouTube videos, look up blogs, tutorials, etc. Then the next step was, okay, those aren't being as helpful as I want them to be, so maybe I can just figure this out myself. And through sheer effort, I was able to. And I think that I have a good approach. And I kept bouncing it off of, as I had time, bouncing it off of what are industry standards. So, yeah. Best practices. Marcus says, doesn't this guy know how to create separate paragraphs? Oh, it was probably just a copy pasta thing. I'm gonna blame it on that. But every single sentence started with when you, so I don't know that you really could have, broken that up any better. TBD Gamer says, of course, Chief Troll joined in. Tyron said, honestly, one of the hardest things for me as I moved up was delegating. I know I'll take that oh my goodness. This one, you're speaking to my heart. I'm trying to break myself of this habit too. So I know it'll take that person longer and they won't do it the way I would. Oh, this is coming straight out of me, straight out of my heart. Anyway, but the only way I can work on bigger and more impactful changes is to let others do the smaller, faster things. Oh, man. Yeah, and it was a copy pasta, especially on mobile. Oops. All right, Deflex said, I'm not identifying as Chief Troll, but I wasn't here earlier. Marcus Voice Coder said, would be better to have separate paragraphs, though, in that reply. Yeah, it would. But it was formatted in the original post. I'm a proponent of Blazor. I'm the opponent. I'm an opponent. Did you see the smart component, Steve Sanderson? Yes. It was cool. I mean, that's one of those things where I'm already far enough into working with LLMs, I guess, that I could find ways to incorporate that myself. But if they are going to give us some, because I mean, I still want to know the more basic stuff on how to set up RAG, for example, on my machine. But I don't know if that's the only thing that's in these, is just the ability to do things that use AI in order to accomplish. So like a lot of the stuff he showed in the video was copying from an email, let's say. You copy from an email and then you do a smart paste into your form, and it fills in the fields using the context from the email, kind of thing. But using an LLM in the back. So it all seemed like it was tied to components that are connected to some kind of AI. Dukasoft said, I'm Dukasoft. Aw. Marcus Voice Coder said, yes, already said this. Marcus Voice Coder beat you to it. I am Sparta. No, I'm Spartacus. Mixing all the movies. All right, but cars with one triangular, one hexagonal, and one ovular wheel work really well. Wait, what? Where did I I think I lost the plot, TBD Gamer. It seems Friday streams are a bit like buses. They all seem to come along at once. True. So true. Speaking of, why am I still on this page? I need to go back to this page. Here. Cool. Oh, reinventing the wheel. Thank you for clarifying. Watashi wa Hiskoshi special. I don't know Japanese. I don't know why I try. I want to know Japanese. Okay. I still have a response to do so. I mean, we're getting some conversation going. So some things that I have used in the past And again, this is from a personal point. This probably will not be the same for very many people, if anyone else at all. But I tend to feel in my body whether I'm somewhere that is causing me discomfort, even if it's not like an actual, the temperature is bad or I'm sitting on a spike or something. Um, like if I'm working with a team that just, it feels raw every single day, I feel it in my body. So my body tells me I need to move away from this group. So that's one way that I know that I need to maybe start considering options for where I'm at. But as far as knowing when I have progressed, so this is the case that happened at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. I progressed to a point with the organization that I was with that I had so much freedom with what I was doing that I was able to learn a new technology, apply it to my job, experiment with it, get it working in production. They're using the apps now, using Blazor. Blazor was a new technology, obviously. I also learned Entity Framework even more while I was there, so I got more proficient at Entity Framework. So there was this point that I reached where I wasn't completely finished with all of the projects, but I knew that I was outgrowing or outpacing the benefits that I was getting from staying at that place. I needed to be in an environment where I was able to gain even more skills or experiences. And so again, that was a body thing for me. I just felt it. It was like this closing in as opposed to an expansive feeling that I felt when I first went there. So I'm using the PC version. No, it's not even PC. It's just, I'm trying to soften it, even though it's a lot more selfish than that. I got to a point where the amount of work I was doing, even with the freedoms that I had, weren't justified by the value that I had in the company, how I was valued in the company. So both my supervisor at the time, who was treating me poorly, the pay, the environment itself. So that's how I knew it was time for me to move somewhere else where I could gain better skills, have more expansive feeling. But right now, the thing that's happening, and as we get closer, I guess I'm going to be a little bit more bold about saying these things out loud. I am feeling like the situation that I'm in is restrictive again. And typically I'll stick with things for a lot longer than I should. I was with federal service working as a federal employee for close to 15 years before I finally said, you know what, I need to be a developer, not a human resources specialist. And that's when I decided I'm going to go work software development. And then I stayed at that job for about 2 years longer than I should have. Even after feeling that this is just restricting my growth. So then I moved to this job from there. And in this job, it was like, this is awesome at first, and then it just quickly degraded. And it's like when I started working with the actual team, it's like, all right, there are a lot of personalities, which I can deal with, but we're not actually working together. And so I tried to sow seeds of synergy and being the one to work with the team when no one else would work with me. And yeah, I mean, it's gotten a little better, but it's still very far from an ideal situation for me. So I have been entertaining offers and pretty sure I won't be on this team by June. Yeah. So that's how I decided that it's time to advance my career by finding another place. And that's the other thing. So I claim often that I'm not motivated by money. However, getting paid half as much as I was getting paid now to do twice the work, that got old. And now each different job that I'm taking has been an increase in pay. But I hope, and I'm trying to be transparent about that, I hope that that's not my core motivator. My core motivation, I'm thinking, if I'm not lying to myself, is that I want a more synergetic environment, either with a team that does want to work together and accomplish the same goals, or by myself. And I am going back to essentially working as a solo dev after this. But it was a good experience, I will say that. Okay, so we did get some more responses back. Foolish Snobble came in. Hello. Okay, so Dukasoft says, I'm working with a team that feels really annoying at times. The team size is one person though, so I'm not sure how to get rid of the annoying member. You work with them and try to help them adjust their expectations for how teams work. Do I need to talk with this person, Duka? I can help them realize how to work together with Duka. How Duka can work together with Duka. Anyway, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate you being here. Today is Community Day. For those of you that don't know, we'll be going for another half hour. I'm trying to post the thing. Community Day. If you're interested in participating in Community Day, all you have to do is chat. But if you feel like it, I also open up a Discord voice channel where you can use your voice to communicate with me. Just know that your voice will come over on stream. And I do post my VODs to YouTube, so they live there forever afterwards. So if you're not comfortable with that, then you don't have to join in the voice channel. I'm just giving it as an option. Make it easier for you to talk. Otherwise, I'll just keep reading through chat and continue enjoying the conversations. So, moving on from there. President, not sure. Actually, TBD Gamer first said to Dukasoft, sounds like that team member needs some training. For me, it'd be a one-on-one conversation with them, a heart-to-heart, that will let them know I'm a real person. They're a real person too. They're allowed to be how they are. However, this team dynamic is not working. And I've had to tell myself this often. Yes, I am answering it as if we're talking about someone that isn't you, Dukasoft. President Usher said, yeah, I agree that closed-in feeling for me means I've gone past the point of really needing to stay. Yeah, it's the whole value. For me, it's the effort value scale. Am I putting in more effort than I'm being valued for? Then I'm getting value out of, I guess. And so once I get diminishing returns, then it's like, bye. If that feeling happens all the time, anyway, if it happens sporadically, it's been just a red flag, but I should have listened to those red flags. Yeah. Earlier. Same for me. It's like I don't want to just pick up and move job when I'm like, oh, I don't like working with this team. I want to do my due diligence, work with the team, work on the product, see if I can get value out of it, and try to squeeze as much out of it as I can before making a decision that, yeah, this really is just taking a lot more effort than I'm getting value for. And Dukasoft says we do try. President Nasher said, let me tell you, as someone who's been doing this for decades, it's worse to stay too long than to move to something that gets you away from that closed-in feeling. True. Like I said, the job that I stayed at for a lot longer than I should have was working in a human resources office. Even though I was an information systems specialist, I was still being treated like I'm a human resources specialist only and not doing anything with technology. Just reading and rating resumes. That's all I do. So I got tired of that. Duso said, I don't necessarily feel closed in, but I do want to explore different aspects of the industry. I'm really interested in iOS development, but we don't do that here. We are an iOS app, but we are going to transpose it into an Ionic app. Okay, so can we come back to this statement very soon? I want to get through the rest of chat. So TBD Gamer says, I'm hired as an architect in a company that doesn't have any actual interest in changing, so I've now been delegated to general code maintenance, but not sure how to find a next role. 25 years doing this development thing. Want to go into something new and energetic, but have to be prepared to take significant salary dips. So that one I want to also address with Duso's comment, because those two are really related, in my mind, at least. The team is supportive and open to learning and continue learning, but I'm assuming that just the company doesn't use that technology that you want to use. So it's not really a thing about learning or not learning. It's just, it's not a technology they use. TBD Gamer said, because for my time and experience, staff engineer, architect stuff, but I'm stagnant on cloud. Okay. Yeah. So you've reached your limit with this company, at least on cloud stuff. I'm still not sold on Ionic to do so. President Usher said, I think it's going to be by yourself. Yeah. But I mean, I'll be working for another company. And in fact, it's probably going to be the one that I already worked at. If I quit my current employer right now, I'd lose $8K on my 401k. I thought, like, one of the reasons that I had told the offer that's on the table June was because I was going to hit my 3-year mark, which would have me vested with my 401k. But I've only been here for 2 years. And they have a 3-year vestment. So, yeah. However much they already contributed. So the answer for me, Deflux, is yes. In this situation, I am going to do it because of the situation that I'm in. Yeah. And then a team that works together, big news. But yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm not taking a salary cut. I haven't taken a salary cut in a long time. Then again, I've only had 3 official jobs that I want to count for this. I worked at a call center before my 15-year federal service stint. That's what I'm going to call it. And then before that, I worked at did I work at the PX first? So I worked in the warehouse of the PX, being a stalker. You know, when people would come to the PX, I would follow them around. No, I would put stuff back on the shelves and unpack the trucks at 4 a.m. and all of that stuff. And then before that, I worked at A&W restaurant. Fast food for a summer. A team that works together. Fake news. That's a lie. I've worked with a team that works together. Considering the salary bump potential, I would. Says TBD Gamer. Yeah. So how much longer would you have stayed to get the 8K when you eventually leave? Another year and 11 months? Oh no, just 11 months. So a little under a year. Same here. Is because we already use TypeScript and Angular. Oh, that's why you guys use Ionic. My advice is to not squeeze as much as you can out of it. That has not gone well for me, is moving on. I mean, I could have taken that advice earlier, but I'm also glad I didn't, because it's all part of my growth path too. So that's where I want to go with this. That's why I want to get back to Duso's comment above once I catch up. If I catch up. I see the end. Okay, so TBD Gamer said to do so. I was responsible for my team picking up Ionic, but the real support and features are really behind their enterprise license, which ain't cheap. Foolish Snubble says, personally, I don't care about so much about the tech, but after a few years, I usually collected so many backpacks I got too annoyed. Nice. President, not sure. Yeah, like right now I have way too many of the client OEM devices that I have to test on that I'm like, how am I even going to leave this place? And I think they do that on purpose. It's like they load you up with all of their client devices, with all of their customer devices for you to test on as a developer, that it's just hard for you to send stuff back. And you're just like, I'll just stay another year since I have all of this crap, and I'll send this stuff back little by little. No, not me. I'm just sending it all back. TVD Gamers said, nope, I'm beyond that. I'm past that. I'm beyond that. Deflex said, I have my resume open now. TVD Gamers said, moving on and spending longer at better employer is worth it rather than wasting another year. True. I'm updating. Also, I'm in the Discord. Hello. I'm going to keep reading through chat, but I'll pull you into the stream room. If you are ready, just give me a I'm ready in chat and I'll pull you in. Rollers, hello, welcome in. Do you vest 66% at 2 years? No, it is all or nothing at 3 years. All right, here we go. Pulling Deflex in. President Not Sure said, depends on how young you are. If you're in your 20s, it's worth getting and keeping as much retirement as you can, as that really grows a lot before retirement for you due to compound interest, as long as it's not more than a year, I figure. And then I'm 30, says Deflex. Jump, says TVD Gamer to Deflex. Did you jump? I think he jumped. I think I made him quiet because I'm trying to finish. Yeah, no, you're being nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it. So just 2 more comments then, or 3. I'm gonna get Van Halen up in this X in chat. Nice. Kind of right on the cusp of making it worth staying to keep the 8K, I think. Says President Not Sure. So President Not Sure says you should stay. TBD Gamer says jump. What do you say?
I think then I just need to basically do a calculation in terms of how much being compensated at right now. I am compensated okay-ish for I think for where I'm at. I've only been doing this professionally for what, 4 years now. So 4 years into the industry, I think.
It sounds like,
yeah,
right. We met around 4 years ago.
Yep. And so whilst I've been doing software development much longer, but professionally, actually, as exclusively as a job, I was a little like you in terms of I had another job, but I started doing software development because I thought it was cool and interesting. At that research development job, so R&D. So I think it would have to be a pay bump to bridge that gap. I think there would have to be a pay bump. Yeah, because say AK is not a ton of money, but it isn't definitely not nothing. So I think
it's a consideration. Again, it's one of those personal things where if you're at a place where AK wouldn't be as impactful as losing out on that 8K, because again, depends on how much you already have in your investments. Do you have personal investments outside of your 401k?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I do. I guess I do want to like take advantage of that 401k taxability. You know, I want to say I've put money, you know, when I get to my 50s, I want to say, look what I did in my 20s and my 30s. That was really smart of me. I'm certainly behind, I think, from where I should be. I have a couple other, this is obviously the main 401k, because this is probably my highest paying job, you know, that I've ever had to date. So I have like around 30,000 at the age of 30, which I think is way behind where you want to be. But again, it's like sort of different for everyone. But I think that's way behind. So I want to be aggressive about it. And so yeah, that's just something to think about, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
but no, I guess.
Let me just say this to the listeners on stream: we are not financial professionals, so don't take anything that we say about finances as professional advice. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we are financial unprofessionals.
Yeah,
we waddle around with finance. We have to, right? We contend with it. We waddle around in the space that is the finance of our lives.
Yeah, so
it's a little behind, not too bad.
Some things that I do, like I have a Roth IRA that I contribute to personally. I have my federal service since I was there for 15 years, and the government, I'm already vested in that. The government will continue to keep that alive. Like, they don't contribute to it or anything, but it's called TSP. So that's still going, and I have investments in that. And then I have the 401k with Sagetti as well. And then I have
TSP is awesome.
Yeah,
that's really it's really amazing. That's almost worth, like, even they're not even the ones at like the state level are nowhere near as good, but it's almost worth sort of thinking about getting a job at a government agency to get those types of retirement benefits you don't get in the private space.
And yes, President, not sure you can, but I wouldn't want to. So President, not sure, can you roll over your TSP? So the other cool thing about TSP with the U.S. Federal Service is if you ever decide to become a federal employee again, then you pick up right where you left off. You're still vested if you had already become vested.
Yep. I top of my head, I have no clue the details of the program, but I'm assuming like most
HR, of course, I know the details of the program.
well, I mean to say, no, I'm saying I don't know, but I'm assuming on the basis that it's a federal program. It's sort of like it's basically Social Security. It's backed by the U.S. Treasury. It's not dependent on the markets, and so that means if everyone's 401k goes down, your TSP keeps going up in terms of it's backed by the federal government. Depends
because there are, like, the TSP allows for different categories of investment. If you do predominantly the government one, then that one's a guaranteed. It's always going to go up. But if you allow them to do high risk, which you should do if you have a TSP and you're in your 30s, tell them to leave it in the high risk, say 2040, 2050, whatever 30 years from now is for you. 2054 is the plan that you want, and they will do high risk investments in actual US stocks in the differing markets based off of whatever algorithm they have, and it does pretty good. It's an overall net gain, and better than your safe government one. And then in your last years before you actually retire, then you change it over to your guaranteed, always going to increase, never going to lose.
Yep. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have, really, because that guarantee is a lot better than what sort of, again, the private market can provide. Again, nowhere near the amount, like you point out, nowhere near the amount of risk. You can't high risk. You can't do the risk reward stuff. But yeah. Anyway, but no, I guess where I'm at right now, in terms of like I'm coming up will be, I guess I want to say my 5th year in terms of like I was seriously doing .NET prior to being employed doing it. In terms of like as a side hustle or side job, part of my job, it's part-time. So I say I have right now under my belt 5 years of .NET and Blazor, along with some Angular and some other stuff along the way. I'm trying to obviously and if you can hear my vacuum in the background, I apologize. I don't know if I can adjust for that.
Your mic is doing great.
Oh, fantastic! That's good. Good to know. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Sorry, lost my train of thought. That's right.
You have 5 years under your belt.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying to determine what is a fair market value, and I guess the one ways I'm going to find out is I'm going to apply for jobs, and they're going to give me if they like me, they're going to give me an offer. But what I'm trying to ascertain is, could I go to my current employer and be like, this is actually what I feel like. Maybe if you can get that, maybe I won't be so intent on leaving, because I'm leaving not because of anything in particular, other than I see a general direction of what my company is doing I don't agree with. But other than that, like I work with a great team of people. They're relaxed. They're easy.
Phyllis Neville said that's not true. That's not a real thing. That doesn't happen.
Well,
there's proof. So, I mean, you can absolutely do that with your current employer and say, hey, this is what I could be making. I am considering leaving, especially if you already have an offer. It would be more leverage for you. But if you don't have an offer, then just use whatever service you want to use. I don't trust many of them for determining what is fair market value for .NET developer 5 years experience with some JavaScript framework knowledge. And then say, hey, hey company, you're only paying me this much, which is severely less than this much. And then if they don't want to, then
and I don't have to.
You make your
Well, I
decision.
guess, like I peruse over onto Indeed.com. I go on for a Google,
True
I'll
TV
search,
gamer.
right? And I guess I'm looking at what they have. I'm thinking I'm around the 115 mark, but I don't know if that's outrageous or way under where I think I should be, or
I mean, after 5 years, like my 5 years happened when I was at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, and I was making, I think we said 80 is how much I made by the time I left.
Yep.
It was peanuts. And while I was there, I should, especially in the Colorado area, in the Denver metro area, I should have been making 110, 115.
So when you left that 5 years, well, when you did your 5 years at Rocky Mountain, at the end you were like at the 115 mark, and that was good 4 years ago. So I should be around like
No, that
just
was
before
when
inflation.
I probably was 2 years into working there, especially with how much I was doing.
Oh, okay. So you're saying within like the 2 years you should be at like the 115 mark. So I'm behind essentially.
Yeah, and at the well, again, I had been doing actual .NET work for federal service, even though I was in an HR office and mostly doing HR work for, let's say, since 2013. So I actually had 7 years of experience at that time. And then after that, I was like, okay, so what I'm seeing in this area is 120 is reasonable. But now that I spent that extra 4 or 5 years with Rocky Mountain Arsenal, 130, 140 is where I should be at.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I was just reading TBD's right there as well. He says, I think the whole remote working revolution has made finding a salary equivalent, salary equivalence really difficult. I would hazard a guess in saying that's the opposite, because now a company that might only look in this geographical location is now averaging for the entire population of the United States of America. So surely that would like bring averages together, right? You'd have less of a bell curve and it'll be more in the middle. Considering if you are overpaying locally, you could just simply hire somebody in the state over and get the same if you're now doing remote, right? And if everyone's remote, you still get the same quality of employee.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm not gonna even guess at economics, but it seems that pay should be set. If I was a company, pay should be set based off of the worker's geographical location, not based off of
okay.
What other people on the team are making.
Yeah.
I guess
We could disagree. We could agree to disagree. I think what do they call it? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to go because that's political. You know?
Yeah.
But
I appreciate you though.
I,
Thank you for catching that.
Yeah, no, but I was really interested in the that little thing that Samsung put out with the smart components. I know you mentioned that you have an experience with language models already that you probably wouldn't need to engage that, but it was really interesting to see that they were even engaging the topic and that they were building stuff and it was experiment they were doing. That was really cool to actually see them do that, right?
Yeah.
So I saw the repo; it looked pretty interesting, but I didn't have time to download it just yet.
Cool. Before we get to that, let's respond to Duso's one thing that I wanted to catch up on, which is just the last thing that we're going to go through, because we will switch to your topic since there's only like 10 minutes. But he was talking about, I don't necessarily feel closed in, but I want to explore different aspects of the industry. So the way that you know when, like, this doesn't sound like, am I at the next level of my career? This sounds like, do I want to explore different options? So it doesn't necessarily coincide with, do I feel skilled enough and not able to grow, versus is there something else that I'm more interested in trying to pursue? And so that one is definitely personal. And for me, it's very personal. And I'm like, I wanted to do Blazor since it first showed up. I was able to do that at my previous job, kept doing it, got as far as I did, but then I was creating these more functional, more technologically advanced applications and still not getting compensated for it. So I'm like, well, I'll take these skills to a place that will compensate me a little bit more. And so I did. So that's how I decided to move. Okay. That's all I wanted to say on that.
Yep.
So the smart components.
Yes. I thought they were cool. And again, it reminds me, thinking about the whole should I get a new job and so on and so on. Like, I really haven't got hands-on with language models, really. I have I've set up an API and I've sent requests in. It's replied back to me. It's all lots of fun and games, but I haven't actually implemented a business use case. I need to do that. And ironically, it might be really weird, but I have 30 days PTO where I currently work, so I should just take like a month PTO, and just which will be really obvious what's going on, and then maybe I should take like 2 days a week. I'll just like constantly take off Thursday, Friday, and then what I should do is I should take off, and then I should get up early and go to TVD's stream. And he can stop complaining about the fact that I'm not in attendance on TV's stream.
It's such a good stream, though. Like, I'm always there. I'm just really quiet because I'm just so focused on trying to do my morning stuff before I do.
I do generally, and I don't know if it's actually. I want to say that it is productive, but I don't know that it is. I feel like because I'm a remote worker, I take liberty at that, and I wake up a minute before I clock in. And then I clock in, and then I go brush my teeth, taking a shower. And then the justification for that is I stay up till about midnight, latest at 1 a.m. to basically working on projects and things that I want to do.
Yeah, that's when you feel most productive.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely between 4:30 and 7:30.
AM or PM? You're saying 4:30 AM? Yeah. That's what you have. Like the other, you have basically the same math, just on the other. I'm inverse.
Yep.
And so I'm always thinking like I could probably be more productive if I woke up at like 5 a.m. and just went to sleep really early. But then I think like in order for me to pull that off, I probably would have to take melatonin, right? And it's probably not good for you long term. So yeah, well there's something to think about. But maybe I should maybe I should take this as an opportunity with those PTO days and just start doing that. But then here's the thing: if I do that, like I do take 2 days off every week, and it turns out that nobody wants to hire me, I'll be stuck the whole year without any PTO left.
I don't know if you heard my story, but pretty much when the client tells us we can't bill for a certain amount of time because they're on furlough for their actual employees, and so the contract has to pause for them, even though we are contracted for a certain number of hours. Won't even get into that because, again, more politics. But anyway, I was like, I only have like 30 hours of PTO and they need us to take 2 weeks off. So can I get some admin time? And why are you forcing me to take PTO, the available hours of PTO, when I want to use those for myself when I need them? So I'm pretty much at 0 PTO.
Yeah, that's well, your HR, my understanding is they can't do that. My understanding is that you can file like
they
we
do
have like
a lot of stuff that they can't do.
Yeah, that sounds like it because no, where I live not far away from a large manufacturing plant in Ohio here in Lordstown, and every year the plant would shut down for from 2 to 3 weeks, where they would like bring a bunch of contractors in and they like reshuffle everything for like the next year of car they're producing, the Chevy plant. And that 2 weeks, every employee there filed for unemployment, and they got it for those 2 weeks because that's what you're supposed to do if your employer basically
that's what we're supposed to do.
Underhires you file.
But the thing is that I was still gainfully employed by Sagetti. They're the ones that I'm W2 do.
Right.
And so the client just said, you can't bill us for that time. And so Sagetti should have been like, here's some admin time where you can do trainings, certifications, whatever.
Right. Like,
but no, I guess take PTO.
I mean, it certainly if you're paid hourly, not salaried.
Salaried.
Well, if you're salaried, it doesn't matter, right? Like you're paid.
Like taking PTO doesn't matter. It matters to me.
No. PTO is basically you have a set amount of days that you're not going to show up, right? That's what PTO is.
But ours is accrued during the year. Not here is a balance at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So however they accrue it, but if you don't have a day off and you don't work, they still pay you because you're salaried.
Right.
So you just don't work. You don't have to.
But I still need to be able to fill in my time card. That's the thing.
I mean, I guess it's different. Like right now, like I was feeling really ill. I had a headache. I didn't sleep well on Tuesday, so I took like the morning off on Wednesday, But I didn't have to do like any math or anything. I just clock in at noon, and that's why I work noon till.
Oh
6.
yeah, and that would be cool for us. But again, when the client says you can't bill us, that means our time card doesn't allow us to select their account number as who we are as our line item.
Yeah.
And then we can't select ATO unless we're approved. So the only other option for us is PTO.
Yeah, for sure, you're correct in saying that your employee there is doing things that are very much not allowed.
That's one of them. That's one of the main reasons that I'm leaving.
Yeah.
If you're a salary, if you show up for a minute, you should get paid for the whole day. True. Should.
Well, salary, like my contract is, as it says in the contract, 40-hour work week. And so it says you are salaried as a 40-hour work week employee, but if you work 20 hours, you still have to pay you as a 40-hour work week. Obviously, eventually that might be grounds for suspension or
because
whatever.
it's still AWOL. So there are AWOL rules and other HR things.
Right, but most, I mean, again, it's different from company to company. Like that's one of the things with like my employer right now is very relaxed with some of this stuff, where like I could just go, hey, I'm going to take a week off, non-PTO. I just don't feel like working right now, and they'd probably be okay with that.
Interesting.
It was called like unlimited sick days or whatever they call it. As long as we have like set goals, the team has set goals. As long as the team meets those goals, which we never do, everyone is happy. We do, but it's they change the goals so much. It's hilarious, you know.
In my experience, you had to do at least 4 hours to get paid for a full day. Otherwise, you had to take it as PTO. Ours was down to the hour when I worked federal service, or actually down to the 15 minutes. So you take PTO at minimum 15 minutes at a time. So if you left 10 minutes early, if you left 14 minutes early or came in 14 minutes late, you get paid for the whole every hour that you're there.
Yeah, like when you take I take a working lunch, which means if I stop like working for more than 15 minutes, that means you've clocked out. But if you're engaging and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you step away and like put something in the oven, that's not you clocking out and come back on. You're still clocked in. It's just you got to make sure you don't stop working for 15 minutes. In that way, you're paid for that hour. Right. If there's more than like I say.
And it also depends on if you're covered by FLSA. Oh, that's fun. So one thing is you must take 15-minute breaks every 2 hours and a 30-minute break minimum every 4 hours. And if you work more than 10 hours, I think, in a day, it's considered overtime. So that's why even though you are salaried at 40 hours a week, you still can't do like 20 hours the first day and 10 hours the next day and 1 hour for the rest. I don't know. Whatever the math is.
That's not so obvious to me because like I guess this is one of the things where like a lot of employers have policies that just completely differ from the contract you've signed. My contract says I'm a 40-hour a week salaried employee. That's what it says. And so if I want to do 20, 10, 10, 10 or 20, 10, 10, then I can do that because my contract says I'm doing 40 hours in a week. Now, again, that might be, they might not, again, that's like a policy, but contractually I'm meeting my obligation. Right. So for instance, if they were to let me go, I can demonstrate that I should get unemployment on that basis.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't violent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if your contract's, like you said, the whole 10 hours a day, like it doesn't matter how many hours I work in a day. My contract says 40-hour work week. So if I work 45 hours, I get 5 hours PTO. It doesn't say in the contract you will work 8 hours a day from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. It says.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for my day. I need to get back so we can do this emergency release. I finally got a message back from the dev I was waiting on. So can you please do your stand-up?
It's hilarious. Every time I get nervous when you say that because I'm told at work I do Agile. I still don't know what a stand-up is.
Well, again, stand-up in short. Tell me what you did before, between the last stand-up and now. Tell me what you're doing today. And do you need anyone for anything, aka blockers?
Gotcha. So what was that? The last stand-up I did with you was like a good 2 months ago, I feel like. So in the past 2 months, I've achieved nothing. But I'm very happy about it. I feel like deep down that's good. I feel like that I'm very proud of that. No, I've been trying to attend TBD's streams. I always fail at it. My current blockers are that y'all are not following TBD, and you're also not attending. So everyone that's in chat pro should be following TBD and
One more
attending.
shout out.
Yeah, if I'm not there, then you can be there in my stead. There you go. Good. And eventually, sometime in the long future, maybe I think in at least by the end of the century, I will.
At least by 2030.
no, the century. You know.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's not get greedy now.
Have an opinion.
So there you go. But no, blockers. I don't have any, and I haven't got anything done, and I should really get another job. But no, I will. I'm actually gonna open up. In a more serious note, I am gonna open up my resume and sort of look about and see what's going on. Especially because I do think I can get compensated at a high level, irregardless of like the whole 8K 401k situation. I can probably get a higher compensation anyway, which will simply, dissuade any potentiality for, well, do the math, I guess.
Sounds like maths.
Yep. Is that good? Did I answer the questions? Did I skip anything?
You did. Too much detail, but it was good.
Good.
All right.
Are you going to also do a stand-up, or you're
I
just...
will.
Good.
So, we were told just yesterday that the number of issues being reported for the splash screen popping up during our task scheduler scheduled scans is becoming an issue, and we need to do an emergency release. So today I am going to get with Developer B about creating a new release candidate off of our most recent production branch and doing a patch to it and releasing 2.5.1. So him. My blockers are he was being unresponsive, but he has responded, so now I need to get to it. That's what I'll be doing today. If anyone needs me, I'll be available now until 3:30.
That's a bit dramatic. He's unresponsive. You EpiPin him, bring him back to life.
Paddles. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Deflux, for being here. You're amazing. Really appreciate
Thank you as always for having me. And every Friday, I'm pleasantly surprised when I see you live and I join, and it just feels like a Monday. And then you say it's Community Day. I'm like, holy shit! Let's join Discord. I can say, God, it's
best
Friday.
Surprise ever.
Yes, it's the best surprise.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I'll go ahead and disconnect. But thank you as always for doing these streams, because it does really round out my week.
Absolutely.
Ta-ra.
And thank you all for being here. We are going to set a raid out for Bardaki. We saw him in here earlier. Like I said, he's a game developer working on the Unwanted War. All of you want that. Trust me. So we're going to head over there in just a little bit. Is my camera off? Camera. Okay. Hi, Bardaki. I'm Bardaki. So we're going to head over to him. Thank you all. TBD Gamer, Rob Lang. Hello. Got in before the end. Rob Lang Dev. President Not Sure. Do so. Thank you so much for your question in Discord. There's a lot of it's very personal to you answers, but hopefully I still gave you my experience of it, and you can make your own decisions on what you want your experience to be. Foolish Snabble, Deflex, of course, TBD Gamer, make sure to check him out when you can. Best non-bot bot ever, Dukasoft. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to say Dukasoft when Duso's name is right there. Scod snuck in a little bit earlier. Tyron was here for a bit. Thank you all. Amazing. And all of you lurkers, thank you so much for your energy. Love having you here. Ciao for now.